Hey friends, welcome back to my channel and happy 2023. If this is the first video that I'm posting of the new year, I'm just so excited to be back. I kind of took a little bit of a break after Christmas, and if it's not the first video of the new year, well, I hope your new year is going great so far. As you can tell, today is such a beautiful day, and I wanted to finally give you guys a garden update. I failed to do this last year, and I think it was because I got a little in over my head last year and we didn't get quite as much finished as I thought I would. And so when growing season came last year, I ended up having a lot of seedlings and nowhere to put them. So I'm gonna finally share with you all that we've done, where we're headed, and then I'm gonna take you inside and share with you what seeds that I am picking up this year and kind of my plans as to where we're gonna go from here. So without further ado, let me flip you around and share with you guys our garden. Welcome to our garden. It's probably 75% done, if that. There is a lot to do, but I think it's going to be more manageable now. And because the fence is up to some extent, I can really share with you guys our ideas, and hopefully you can see the vision for this place. This is the entrance. If you guys remember, these railway ties were already here because I believe the lady and her husband who built this house had a garden here at one point, but the previous owners who were living here just let it grow up. So last year we bush hogged this with a tractor, and then we started the fence, and it's been a process ever since. But we wanted to use the railway ties since they were already here and work off what we have. They're very tall, and we're going to cut them down because the fence posts are actually just a little bit taller than the fence itself. And so I feel like these being so tall and these being so short really throws it off. So we're going to be cutting these down and adding a gate. We will be adding wiring to the back side of the fence because we have squirrels and deer and rabbits. So we're going to be putting in wire behind this fence to keep them out. Let's talk about the kind of entryway. So I would like to do planter boxes on either side. I thought I was going to do like a almost square shaped one, but wasn't crazy about the look of that. So we're going to be doing L shapes. We're going to be putting in a trellis and trellising some type of flowering vine. So like a climbing rose or jasmine, something that's just really beautiful when it flowers. It flowers for a long time, and something that smells really pleasing, because that is just one aspect I love about growing flowers and food is the smell of them. So I want something really beautiful there. And then I think this year we may till up the ground along the fence line and grow some sort of wildflower mix or cosmos or zinnias. I don't want to do like distinct garden beds, so I think just a wildflower mix would look really, really beautiful down through our fence line. And as you can tell, I did start painting the fence. I was brushing it with some leftover paint that we have. I really want to do a rustic white garden, but brushing it was taking way too long. And I also have to paint the inside because, as you can tell, I mean, you can see straight through. So I need to paint both sides of the fence. It was taking forever. I'm going to be borrowing my dad's generator and using our spray gun and spraying this. So that is the plan for that. So it will be all cohesive when it's said and done. But that's kind of the plan for the outside of the garden. Down here, we also have an entryway, so we'll be doing the same gate as we do here. And like I said, the trellis, the garden beds, and then possibly the wildflowers. Then coming in, I'm probably getting ahead of myself, but eventually I would like a walkway of sorts. So whether that's a pea gravel walkway or just pavers for the time being, we are planning on putting our greenhouse here, and our greenhouse has come in. I would love to have an old one built out of windows and beautiful doors, but it's going to meet our needs now. I don't want to build one of those here and run the risk of when we moving it and it breaking. So I went with just a polycarbonate aluminum greenhouse. They're not known for withstanding heavy winds well, and we do get tornado weather here. So Matthew's going to be building me a frame to help secure it to the ground. We're gonna have to do some leveling, but it's gonna go here. And I would like this really beautiful pea gravel walkway to my sweet little greenhouse. and maybe even stringing some solar powered lights. I will try to insert a picture of the one that I got and then my idea for it, because I do think I'm going to spray the frame black and make the door have hinges. There's some tweaks that we're going to be doing with it, and I will try to share that in a video if you guys are interested, because the greenhouse was more affordable than most. So it's going to go here. The layout is pretty simple. It's just going to be 3 short beds and then a long bed, and then the same thing here, 3 short beds and a long bed, the greenhouse, and then we'll just mirror it on the other side. And that is pretty much the tour of the garden. It's quite a large space, and so I plan on maybe even growing things along the fence line. If I don't do flowers in here, I might do like potatoes along the fence line, or green beans. My mom did some where she just did her green beans right in the ground along her fence line in her garden, and it turned out so well. She grew so many green beans, and that's one thing that we eat a ton of. So plans to put things just directly in the ground rather than building boxes and putting them in that, because wood's expensive and it does take time to build those things. So we will see what it turns out like, but I'm really excited, and maybe you guys can see the vision that I have for this space. We're back inside, and I wanted to share with you the seeds that I bought this year. I have my computer here because my seed order hasn't come in quite yet, but I wanted to walk you through what I picked up this year. I didn't grab much because, like I said earlier, we didn't grow as much as we expected to last year. So I have a lot of seeds left over from last year. But before we get into seeds, I wanted to share with you, this is kind of the rough drawing I have for the garden. But I will say this is not to scale, because I think I'll be able to do 2 of the longer beds on either side. So 4 long beds total. But this is kind of the plan. You can see here is the L-shaped garden beds that I was talking about, with the trellis and the gate, the flowers, a walkway, which I think will actually just be pea gravel, possibly another trellis here, and then the greenhouse there. So that's just kind of the idea that I have. If you guys know of a good resource of maybe a website or a book about companion planting, please let me know, because I really don't know what grows well next to each other and what needs to be in a bed together and what doesn't. And I definitely could use some help figuring out what needs planted with what. Also, if you hear the dishwasher and the dryer and stuff going, I'm sorry about that. It's just Monday afternoon, it's real life, and I have a little bit of everything going right now. Okay, as far as seeds, I only bought a couple of things from MI Gardener. I normally buy from MI Gardener, Baker Creek. Sometimes I also buy from Johnny Seeds. Those are all great places to get affordable seeds. But this year I really didn't need much. So I tried to think about things that we buy on a regular basis at like the grocery store, and things that we eat a lot of, and the 2 major things were tomatoes and peppers. I picked up sweet banana pepper, golden cow wonder bell pepper, which is like a little yellow orange pepper, coral bell pepper, which is orange bell pepper, Keystone Giant, which is green or red. And then as far as tomatoes go, I have some leftover from last year. This has worked really well for organizing my seeds. If you watched last year's video, then you saw me talk about this, but if you haven't watched it, I'll have it linked in the eye and down below for you guys. But this is just a photo organizer, and inside of it are these little 4x6 containers. I have them labeled. I'll link the label maker down below too, but each one of them looks like this. It's like a little vintage label, but like this one's for tomatoes, and I have all of my tomatoes in it. I have some leftover from last year. I have Boxcar Willie, beefsteak, and then Barry's Crazy Cherry. I did grow some beefsteak and Boxcar Willie. My Barry's Crazy Cherry didn't do very well last year, but I think that was like due to user error. That was my fault. And these I actually got some of the I got some tomatoes off of, but this year I picked up Ace 55 and Marglobe tomatoes. They are determinate, and I specifically chose those because last year I had a really hard time staking all of my tomatoes. So this year I'm trying determinate so they won't be quite as big, I don't think. So that's all the seeds that I picked up. I really didn't have many new ones. Everything else I have left over from last year. I have carrots, okra, lettuce, beans, squash, cucumbers, tomato, herbs. I also have corn. Not sure if I'm going to try growing corn this year, but we'll see when the time comes how I feel about it. But that is it. I hope you enjoyed today's video and are as excited as I am about spring. We have had such weirdly warm weather, and it's just made me so happy because I thrive in the sunshine when it's warm, and like today it's warm enough to be outside and tolerate it. It's like high 50s, and so it's just lovely. I'm so excited for spring and summer and to share with you guys the progress, because I really think that this year we will see the garden come to life. And if you enjoy this kind of stuff, if you enjoy gardening, canning, preserving, intentional living, non-toxic living, just a slow and simple lifestyle, home DIY, home renovation type of stuff, a little bit here and a little bit there, please hit that subscribe button down below. I would love to have you be a part of the community that we built here, and make sure you head over to my blog, Hand Homemade. If you guys don't follow along with the blog or follow me over on Instagram, I would love to have you be a subscriber there as well. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye, friends.